Well, a very good morning to you. 7 a.m. now, Wednesday, March 18th, 2025. Are you recovered from your St. Patrick's Day yet? Welcome to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Sunny and muy mild today. Highs in the upper 60s. We head straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta. Mike, it's a good thing we are in different studios because I would give you a bear hug that would leave you difficult breathing for that beautiful
Difficult breathing.
Just
It's
let
an
you know.
abbraccione right back to you because the weather is going to give you a
Abbraccione.
big hug today. Weather's going to give you a big hug today going into this afternoon. So much sunshine, so much warmth, but it'll kind of slap you around silly this morning with the cold weather. We've got temperatures in the 30s right now across the state, even some upper 20s likely with the next weather update. Usually these update about a minute after the half hour, so plan on seeing a few 20s a little later on this morning as we head just before sunrise. Early on this Tuesday morning, we look outside at a temperature of 37 right now in Long Branch, 30 over in Toms River, with the wind gusts a little breezy, that northwesterly breeze out of the north, providing that refreshing, dry air. You will notice the chill kind of puts an extra spring in your step, and this kind of tells it all. It is 23 degrees cooler outside this morning than this time yesterday. 25 degrees cooler in Toms River, 23 degrees cooler in Atlantic City. So yeah, and that's without the wind chill. With all the clear sky that moved on in last night, many of the clouds are well off to our east, so we've got a beautiful day ahead, lots of sunshine, and that's the sun that's going to help our temperatures spike back into the upper 60s. It's also in combination with that lovely dry breeze. Without the humidity, it helps the air warm more quickly. So by 1 o'clock, we'll be knocking on 60 degrees here across New Jersey. By 4 o'clock today, will easily be in the mid to upper 60s across most of the state. I think 50s are a certain solid bet, and then staying mild throughout the rest of this afternoon. With the sunshine, it'll obviously feel lovely. A light breeze today looking great. Now tomorrow, low 70s on tap, and that's for the interior sections of the state like Trenton, down toward Mount Holly, and even over in Camden. Head over toward the beaches on LBI, and you only stay in the upper 40s. I'm chuckling because this is the time of year where everybody goes outside in their, northwestern corner of the state or inland areas and goes, wow, it's so beautiful. I'm going to take the day off and go to the beach. And then they get to the beach and they realize they need the winter coat because it's so cold with that wind off of the water, making it feel that much chillier. Now, by the time we get to tomorrow, it's just funny to hear the stories of people recounting that to me. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, it happens this time of year. Then with the cloud cover that rolls on in by Thursday, that's in advance of a little bit of rain. You see it entering the picture here, arrives to us in New Jersey by the time we get to later Thursday night. It shows up here on the hour by hour, exits for Friday into Saturday, and we've got a decent weekend ahead, dry, with a few passing sprinkles, I think, on overnight Saturday, but Sunday clears out nicely. And then Monday, another chance of rain, maybe a little snow to our north, but I think we'll just keep it rain for now. Looking ahead at the next few days, plenty of clear sky ahead for tomorrow. There's that rain, predominantly Thursday night, not during the day, and then much cooler by Friday. Ken, we've got a warmer forecast ahead for you coming up. We'll give you those details with our next weather update in a few minutes.
You know what I'm finding? I'm finding a pattern because I'm heading down to Florida on Thursday, and I find that when I'm heading to or coming back from Florida, you bring the temperatures up to like 70. Just saying. It's just an amazing thing. So if it's ever
It
cold,
is.
like next winter when it's really cold, tell me to run to
Yeah.
Florida for a few days. Everybody will warm up.
we'll
Just saying.
we'll make it happen.
There you go, Mike. Thank you so much, sir. It is 35 degrees, as Mike was saying, chilly right now, but it's going to change today. 7:04 is our time. We do have some traffic. Let's take a look at this traffic cam. This is the Garden State Parkway in the vicinity of Bloomfield, New Jersey, right in the middle of the state. Actually not the middle. It's the upper middle of the state. You can see it's flowing okay now. A couple of minutes ago, the on-ramp right there was a little delayed, but not so bad. You could see the traffic coming towards you. That's going into the tolls at Bloomfield. Just a little bit of a slowdown. That's actually not bad for this time of the morning, but that's just something to be aware of if you normally don't drive in that neck of the woods. We also have some other problems now with the GW Bridge. There's a fuel spill. This is something you got to be aware of if you normally take the GWB. There's a fuel spill on the GWB upper level eastbound, so that would be headed into Manhattan in the vicinity of the upper Trans-Manhattan Expressway in Manhattan. So once you get over the bridge, You get on the other side of the bridge in Manhattan, that's where the fuel spill. So that's going to back things up onto the bridge if you're heading into Manhattan. Two right lanes are blocked. So that's going to be a mess all morning long. We have a disabled tractor trailer on the Turnpike, Pennsylvania extension eastbound inside the toll plaza in Florence Township. The right toll lane is blocked, so stay to the left. Crash on the New Jersey Turnpike outer roadway southbound north of Interchange 9, which is Route 18 in Edison. The right lane and shoulder are blocked. And we have another situation here on the Garden State Parkway. We have an overturned vehicle, and this is on the local lanes northbound south of exit 114, which is Red Hill Road in Middletown Township. All lanes are open, but that's causing a big slowdown. Now, we do have the emergency sinkhole repair still going on I-80 eastbound at exit 34, Route 15 in Wharton. All lanes are currently closed, people being detoured. But pay attention in the coming days. We had the senator on yesterday talking about this. What they're going to do is create an overpass to the westbound side. And for trucks only, this is coming up in the next few days, they're going to do this. For trucks only, you will stay on the highway taking one of the westbound lanes eastbound, if that makes sense. So the eastbound side will be closed except for one lane, which will go over to the westbound side for trucks. They get to use that. Everybody else still detours off onto the local roads, but that will help things out significantly until they could reopen the roadway, which hopefully will be in the next month or two. And that is the latest in terms of traffic. Whoa, boy, oh boy, did we have a lot of that today. 7:06, and what appears to be a last desperate plea to President Trump, former Senator Bob Menendez posted a social media platform X that his wife and co-defendant Nadine Arslanian Melendez is being, quote, forced by the government to go to trial tomorrow, meaning today. Despite having breast cancer reconstructive surgery just days ago, quote, only the arrogance of the SDNY, that's the Southern District of New York, would do something so inhumane. They should let her fully recover. Menendez also tagged Trump in that post. Now, as of yesterday, there had been no public filings with the U.S. District Court in the Southern District of New York, noting the surgery or requesting a delay because of it. Remember, the Southern District of New York was one of the districts going after Trump in the last few years. So obviously Menendez is begging Trump to feel anger toward that district and help him out, maybe with a pardon, but don't expect a response. 7:07, NJ.com reporting that a William Patterson University professor is suing the college for allegedly losing his irreplaceable fossils that are nearly 380 million years old. It appears the priceless treasure may have ended up, get this, in a landfill near Nashville, Tennessee. The fossils, with a life's work of Martin Becker, who's a professor and paleontologist. Becker says he packaged 200 of his fossils, that's 80% of his collection, in 19 boxes and brought them to the university's mailroom last June. The mailroom supervisor assured Becker, don't worry about it. We'll give you tracking numbers. We got it. Don't worry about it. We'll give you insurance details. Apparently, months went by. The package never arrived in Florida, where they were being shipped to another university. Ultimately, in September, Becker learned that UPS intercepted the packages, get this, because UPS says William Patterson University had failed to pay outstanding shipping invoices. They didn't pay the bill, and that led to the cancellation of their shipping account back in April. By the time Becker contacted UPS directly, they said the fossils had been dumped in a Tennessee landfill. Unbelievable. 7:08, if you live in South Jersey, did you hear a loud boom yesterday afternoon? It seems folks in and around the Cape May area heard and felt a loud boom and felt the ground shake about 3 p.m. But the U.S. Geological Survey says we don't know of any earthquakes in the area. Social media posts talked about the noise, some suggesting it could have been caused by a military aircraft, as there was a T-38 Talon flying just off the coast of Maryland, like 80 miles southeast, and the Delaware area around the same time the noise was reported, so it might be that. NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore are finally going home. Let's take a look at this video if we could, Pam. The astronauts who had planned to visit the International Space Station for only a week have been there for more than 9 months. I'm sure they are very happy to leave their Motel 6 there. They departed about 2 a.m. Williams and Wilmore became household names after launching on the first crewed test flight of Boeing's Starliner capsule in June. Methinks it was the first and the last test flight for Boeing, but they encountered problems with the vehicle's thrusters while docking at the space station, which eventually led NASA to bring the Starliner back to Earth with no one on board because they weren't sure if it would work. Elon Musk, of course, offered to fly the duo back to Earth in his SpaceX rocket, which is that right there. He did so, though, when Biden was president on numerous occasions, but then President Joe Biden ignored Elon, never even took his calls, apparently fearing that Musk would receive positive press for his deed, along with the man he was supporting for president, Donald J. Trump. As a result, the two astronauts were trapped in a tube above the Earth 3/4 of a year. If all goes as planned, the two should splash down off the coast of Florida just before 6 p.m. today, along with NASA astronaut Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunov. President Trump, who's ordered the release of classified documents related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy, said yesterday that his administration will make public around 80,000 pages of files related to the former president today. Here was Trump yesterday speaking at the Kennedy Center in Washington.
But while we're here, I thought it would be appropriate. We are tomorrow announcing and giving all of the Kennedy files. So people have been waiting for decades for this, and I've instructed my people that are responsible, lots of different people, put together by Tulsi Gabbard, and that's going to be released tomorrow. We have a tremendous amount of paper. You've got a lot of reading. I don't believe we're going to redact anything. I said, just don't redact. You can't redact. But we're going to be releasing the JFK files, and that would be tomorrow. Do you have anything else to add to that, Carolyn? So that's a big announcement. They've been waiting for that for decades. Then I said during the campaign I'd do it, and I'm a man of my word. So tomorrow you have the JFK files. What time will they be released? Tomorrow afternoon. Okay.
Have you seen what's in the files? Have you read them?
I've heard about them.
Was there,
Anything interesting?
It's going to be very interesting.
was there an executive summary supplied to you, Mr. President?
No, I'm not doing summaries. You'll write your own summaries. It's many pages. Is it 80,000 pages? Approximately 80,000 pages. So it's a lot of stuff. And you'll make your own determination.
Now, earlier this year, Trump signed an executive order directing the federal government to present a plan to release records related to the assassinations of Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. And you could see he's a man of his word. 712, Hunter Biden has had Secret Service protection for an extended period of time, longer than most children of presidents. This was all paid for by you and me to the tune of millions and millions of dollars. The U.S. taxpayers paying that. There are 18 people on Hunter Biden's detail. 18. That's more than President Trump had the day that he was shot back in July. Hunter is currently vacationing in South Africa. As of yesterday, President Trump said no more Secret Service. So he's basically going to be stuck in South Africa without Secret Service as of today. Hunter Biden's Secret Service protection is now officially revoked, along with the protection of his sister, Ashley Biden. She, for whatever reason, had 13 agents following her around. Now, remember, Ashley Biden was also given a pardon. Both Hunter and Ashley were given pardons by their dad. In the past, the young children of current U.S. presidents were granted usually 1 or 2 Secret Service agents while the person was president, but never after they were president, and certainly not 18 Secret Service agents, because they get paid like $150,000 a year or more. Older adult children of former presidents, and not 1 or 2, but 18 agents, that's unheard of. And you have to wonder why Biden felt it necessary to have that many agents after his presidency protecting his children. And he thinks it had something to do with the pardon, don't you? They were ordered by former President Biden. They were costing U.S. taxpayers about $6 million a year. OVA. It is now officially OVA, O-V-A. And Fulton County, Georgia DA Fani Willis has been ordered to pay more than $54,000 for violating the state's open records laws relating to the prosecution of President Trump. A Superior Court judge formalized her ruling Friday and ordered Willis to pay the fine to cover attorney fees and litigation costs after intentionally failing to provide records. She kept them quiet. Requested by the attorney who filed a motion to disqualify Willis from prosecuting Trump on charges of allegedly interfering with the 2020 presidential election, which has now been proven false. The attorney believed that Willis and Wade may have financially benefited personally from Wade's appointment as the special prosecutor in the case. In other words, Fani Willis, as the DA, paid the special prosecutor, her boyfriend, hundreds of thousands of dollars more than she would have paid anyone else. And he split the money with her. That's the allegation, which is why now she has to pay fines, because she would not release data that would have either corroborated evidence or exonerated her. So if you won't release the information, doesn't suggest anything good for you. 7:15, an American spring breaker goes missing while vacationing in the Dominican Republic. Our travel expert, Eric the Travel Guy Hastings, will join us with important travel safety advice. It'll be sunny, very mild today, highs upper 60s. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta returns with the full Garden State forecast, and we will take your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. Don't go away. Hey. It's my New Jersey welcome. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings for your Tuesday. Ken Rosato at 7:16, taking your calls at 888-658-0234. I promise I will answer like that. How about that? Hey, it's On New Jersey Mornings. What are you talking about over here? Sunny, very mild today, highs in the upper 60s. Straight to meteorologist Mike Pavetta, who's never heard anyone speak like that to him. He has the Garden State
Absolutely
forecast.
not. No,
According to
nothing
you,
whatsoever of the like. No,
Mike.
it's usually you get the state bird, if you talk like that sometimes. Hey, our forecast is looking pretty decent with the sunny weather for today. Yesterday's forecast, a little gray, a little gloomy, a little cloudy, chilly by day's end. But today it's kind of the flip side, where we have the chill in the morning, but afternoon highs warm into the mid and upper 60s. Away from the coast, it'll feel lovely, like fantastic. Lots of sunshine all throughout the day. Looking outside, that sun looks gorgeous right now. And with the clearing even at the beaches, you'll notice a little, my camera, a little bit of a milder feel that comes back, I think, through the afternoon. The beaches will be cooler, and with that chilly feel that takes over through the end of the day, you will feel a overall better experience toward the beaches early on in the morning, because when that sea breeze kicks in, it gets mighty chilly there toward Point Pleasant and over in Long Branch. The wind gusts, as of now, they're still a bit breezy, so you'll actually notice a bit of a wind chill around this morning as we enter the second to last morning of winter, tomorrow being the last morning of winter, because spring begins at 5 a.m. on Thursday morning. And even with those wind gusts lightening up this afternoon, it'll feel very pleasant throughout the course of the day. Into the afternoon on Wednesday, another round of gusty breezes come in, but it's predominantly from the east, and that's what helps pull in some cooler weather at the shore. It'll also bring in another round of clouds for Thursday, with that overcast sky by the end of the day, helping our next round of weather to move in. Here's all the rain from yesterday. It's still stuck offshore, hasn't moved very far. So now we enjoy this nice calm pattern for the next 2 days with a whole lot of sunshine around here, and that's what will help us warm into the next few afternoons. Beginning this afternoon, highs climb into the mid-60s, cooler at the coast. Then we're back into the 40s overnight, but not as chilly tomorrow morning. That'll help us jump even warmer into the upper 60s and low 70s by tomorrow afternoon. It'll feel very pleasant, except the cooler breeze at the beaches. There's that easterly breeze for Thursday morning, pulling in some clouds, also some 40-degree weather, so pretty chilly to start off our Thursday. That will help bring back another round of cloud cover, and then the rain that comes in for Thursday night. So this should likely hold off until just after the evening rush on Thursday. It lingers into Thursday night, clears out by Friday morning. There could be a few snowflakes off to our north, but I'm not too worried about those. And then it's ultimately clear by Friday afternoon. So a decent finish to the week, but cooler and drier with that next front. Saturday moves in with some clouds, maybe a sprinkle by Saturday afternoon, but ultimately gray. And then I think we have more sunshine on the way by Sunday, with a clearing that takes over throughout Sunday afternoon. So a split weekend with more clouds on Saturday, more sun by Sunday, and highs that'll be up around 60 both days. With that, we enjoy a little bit of a breeze that comes in from the north and west, clearing out those clouds for the end of the weekend. And a nice finish, and a nice start, actually, I should say, to spring. First weekend of spring, feeling like spring, and running a few degrees above average. We'll take it. We've got the details coming up on the 7-day forecast. See if we can find some more 70s in there. That's in just a few minutes, Ken.
Hey, you're talking my age now. All right, thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate you, sir. 7:20, it's 35 degrees. We do have some traffic to talk about. Take a look at the traffic cam now on mile marker 127.8. This is south of exit 127. This is like south of New Brunswick, that area on the Garden State Parkway. You can see some delays on the merge. That's just volume as you got the sunrise and folks getting a little sun glare. So that's not super, super bad. Actually, with the exception of a few spots around the area, we're pretty good with traffic, but there you go. I've just jinxed it. Let's hope that isn't the case. We do have some problems right now. A disabled vehicle at the Lincoln Tunnel, South Tunnel, eastbound New Jersey side, Weehawken Township. All lanes are blocked. So that's going to cause a big problem. We already have a problem on the GWB. So hear that carefully. If you are headed into Manhattan, now the Lincoln Tunnel has one tube block causing massive delays. And you have the GWB with a fuel spill blocking the right side. And that's been around for about half an hour, 40 minutes now. So that's in the vicinity of the Trans-Manhattan Expressway. So the 2 right lanes are blocked there. Good luck. Holland Tunnel is an option? Yeah, okay, that's always a mess. So good luck heading into the city today. Better give yourselves like literally an hour extra time as of right now if you're heading in. We have disabled tractor trailer on the New Jersey Turnpike, Pennsylvania extension, eastbound inside entry toll plaza in Florence Township. The right toll lane is blocked and a crash on the Turnpike outer roadway southbound north of interchange 9, Route 18 in Edison Township. The right lane and shoulder are blocked. Still have that construction of the sinkhole with the repair going on I-80 eastbound at exit 34 in Wharton. Everybody being detoured off. But again, there is a plan in place. They're going to be doing construction in the next few days to use one of the westbound lanes for truck traffic eastbound. So we'll give you more details as the days follow. It is 7:22. Search efforts intensify for Sudiksha Konanki, who's a 20-year-old University of Pittsburgh student missing for over a week from a Punta Cana resort in the Dominican Republic. Konanki had vanished back on March 6th after surveillance video captured her walking to the beach with friends and 22-year-old Joshua Riibe around 4:15 in the morning. Riibe, the last person seen with her, told police that a big wave swept them into rough seas. It was 4 a.m. He believed that she escaped the water, but nobody has seen her since. Over 300 officials, including our FBI, are scouring air, land, and sea. Authorities are treating this as a missing persons case, though foul play is not being ruled out. Riibe remains in Punta Cana for questioning. Now, joining us now to talk about how to vacation safely is Eric the Travel Guy Hastings of ericthetravelguy.com. That's Eric with a K. He joins us now with some very important tips. Eric, good morning to you. Normally, we like to have you on talking about fun vacations, but we just thought this was so important to talk about, especially now so many younger people are going on spring break. When you're 19 years old and you go to another country and you're with your friends and you get drunk and you get stupid, you do irresponsible things. So let's talk about how important it is if you're a parent, your kid is going overseas to an island, to Mexico, what to do to stay safe. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir.
This story is heartbreaking, but it really does underscore some fundamental challenges. It underscores some fundamental truths that exist in the travel and tourism world, which is, of course, terrible things can happen at home. They can happen while you're away as well. It's funny because sometimes I think we let our guard down just a little bit because we're on vacation and we, find it almost obscene that someone would abduct us or pick our pockets, or there are some nefarious activities going on because we're on vacation, when in fact it's actually the opposite. Now, of course, here in the tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania residents, we have heightened situational awareness. We just do. I don't know why that is. It's probably because of the people, could be because of the traffic, but we do. So when we travel, and I like to say, I love traveling with New Yorkers or people from New Jersey because they do pay attention to their surroundings. At the same time, I think we have a little bit of a, well, I would say ego about us that we think that, we can kind of muscle our way through these tough situations. But the reality of it is, when you travel, there are some things you need to be aware of. Number one, all of those travel documents that you need to have when you're leaving the country, you need to have copies of them. You need to have paper copies of them, believe it or not, in your home, so that and somebody needs to know that they exist. That's one of the things I tell people right away. You need to register with the State Department. That's another thing that people don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave the country, the likelihood of something going wrong is very remote. But if it does, the State Department would like to be able to reach you when you are outside of this country. I think it's very important, Ken, and you and I have talked about this before, which is, remember, when you travel outside of your home country, you are bound by the laws of the place that you are visiting. The laws of your home country do not follow you. So again, this gets into, well, what I would consider to be, certainly
Oh,
drug
can I
use.
step on you for 1 second?
You
I was
may.
just going to say, can I step on you for 1 second? The laws of your country do not follow you unless they supersede and are greater than the local laws. Because I remember there was a case about that. So in other words, if you can shoot heroin in Lithuania, I'm just making it up, but you're not allowed to shoot heroin here. You're not allowed to shoot heroin in Lithuania, because what happens is if anything occurs and the U.S. government has to come get your ass back, they're going to have to deal with it. So that was the rule that they encountered several years back. I forget what the case was, but I just wanted to throw that in. So if it's above and beyond what the local government has, you have to then follow the extra rules of the United States. That's all I remember being told that. So
that's very true. And the reality of it is, again, if you're going on vacation because you want to do illegal drugs, I mean, that's
right.
that's a whole other segment that we could talk about, Ken. I mean, you're supposed to be, well, look at the beach. The beach is a perfect example, right? You and I spent a lot of time in Florida. I just moved here last year because I couldn't take the traffic anymore. I didn't want to swim from New Jersey over to the city. But you see things happen in the ocean. What was the rule you were always told? 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the swimming
Right.
in the ocean. That's it. It's as simple as that. And why is that? Because, well, a lot of times the larger fish, i.e. sharks, come in a little closer in the morning and in the evening, in the late afternoon, they follow the fish. So it's like, do you really need to be swimming in the ocean at midnight, at 1 in the morning, at 11 p.m., at 4 in the morning, at 5 in the morning? Of course not. So that's one of the things I always tell people: go stand on the beach and look at it. It's gorgeous. But, so again, you do need to re-examine where you're going, certainly where you're staying. When I travel internationally, I always recommend staying at hotels that you're familiar with. And why is that? Is it because that the ones you're not familiar with aren't safe? Not necessarily, but we're talking about protocols in cleanliness, in hiring, that I'm familiar with. A Marriott brand or an IHG brand or a Hilton brand. I like their infrastructure. So even when I travel overseas, I like to stay at properties if I can. I like the local flavor too, but at the same time, that's the other thing too, Ken. You and I have talked about, you can take the national carrier airline over to a particular country from the United States, but I like to fly on the U.S. carriers even when I'm traveling overseas as much as possible. Why? Because in the unlikely event something goes wrong, a U.S. carrier wants to get the U.S. people back into the U.S. as soon as humanly possible, and they have more flight options usually than maybe another international carrier might have fewer options. So that's kind of where I would start with safety, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, all great advice, and little things like there's a reason why they put a hotel safe in the hotel room, right? To use it. How many times? How many times? Oh, it's there for a reason. If you don't need to take $700 in cash with you on the street, put 600 of it into the safe, lock the safe, remember the code, put it in your phone but don't put it in under hotel room safe room 426, because that's pretty stupid. And that way you're safe.
Again, one of the things, especially if you don't speak the language, a lot of times we talk about the UK or Europe for starter destinations in Europe, and they speak English. And if you don't speak, say, Italian, or if you don't speak Greek or whatever it is, I always carry a business card in my wallet that has the hotel address and name in that native language in my wallet. I keep it. If I'm there for longer than a few days, in the unlikely event I get lost, I can always hand that card to someone. They go, oh, I know where that is. I can help you get there. But again, I'm not by myself when I travel. Even domestically, I'm with friends, I'm with family. There's always, it's always a good idea to. And look, the thing is, your instincts are pretty good. You need to trust your instincts. That's the other thing I would tell you. When you're around, I want you to have a good time. I don't want you to be worried that you're going to be beheaded, just because you went to this neighborhood. That the likelihood of that is very slim. But if you drink a little too much, and maybe you befriend some people you don't know, and next thing you know, it's layer upon layer of maybe some questionable decisions on your part, and you can end up in real trouble. So you pay attention to those things. But again, here in the tri-state, I mean, our situational awareness is such that we do pay attention to who's around, what's going on, and can still maintain having a phenomenal time.
Eric, there was a famous, well-known at the time, it's been 12, 13 years, but there was a well-known meteorologist. He used to work between the Philly and the New York markets. I won't say who it was, but people of the time know who it was. Very well known. And he used to love to travel to the islands. And he allegedly, the allegation is he got drugged, got slipped a Mickey at the bar. Some ladies took him back to his hotel room, thought, oh, he was, having a good time. And as it turns out, the allegation is they were Russian, and it was part of an organized syndicate. And they got him to, he was traveling with art, because one of the things he did was he would sell art internationally. And they stole hundreds of thousands of dollars of art. And he woke up like the next day, everything was gone. His Rolex, the art, everything was gone. So just don't, we're just, as you said, when we're on vacation, our guard goes from here to here. And that's when we're the most vulnerable, because everybody who's there looking to commit a crime and do something nefarious, they're not targeting the locals who make $18,000 a year. They're targeting the wealthy guy with the Rolex coming, flashing the cash at the bar.
It's so true. And not only is it true, but again, this is where the reputable brands come into play. Some might question, say, well, I'm not going to go to Jamaica and stay at Sandals. Everybody that's what the tourists do. Listen to me. And I'm not saying that the non-Sandals resorts are whatever, but I trust Sandals. And Sandals, I've sat with the CEO of that company, with the founder's son, Adam, and we've talked about safety and security, and they take it real seriously. And we're not talking about just the safety and security of the guests. We're talking about safety and security of the employees as well. The background checks that go on. Why does Sandals have employees that are there for 25, 30 years? Because they take good care of their people. Because their people take care of those guests. They take it seriously. Look at Mexico.
They also have a reputation. They have a reputation. The name Sandals is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They do not want that tarnished, so that's why they take it so seriously. Whereas Joe's local motel in Oshkosh, if something happens, all right, they'll reform under another name. No big deal. So that is just great advice. That's why we always have you on. Eric, the Travel Guy Hastings of ericthetravelguy.com. That's Eric with a K, ericthetravelguy.com. Go to the website, find all these great travel tips. Eric loves cruises too, so you'll find great cruising ideas and tips. Thank you for joining us with all that important information. Very apropos to the current time. We appreciate you always, Eric. Have a wonderful day, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. All right. It is now 35 degrees, chilly this morning. Ever want to get 5 minutes with the mayor of your town? Now's your opportunity. When we come back, we're going to tell you all about New Jersey's Meet the Mayor's event and how you can attend. Maybe there might be sold out already, but maybe you could attend next year. Also, the phone lines are open. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta says sunny, very mild today, although we're starting off chilly. Highs in the upper 60s, cooler at the shore. The full Garden State forecast in a moment. You're watching ONNJ Mornings, seen daily at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, X, and streamed live on Rumble and Twitch at twitch.tv/OnNewJersey. You can't miss us. We're everywhere. We're coming right back. very good morning. It is Tuesday, March 11th. Wow, that can't be March 11th. I would think that would be March 18th. I didn't update the teleprompter. Pam, our director, is going to spank my hand for that. Sorry about that. Good morning. It is 35 degrees. 7:35, and I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome to ONNJ Mornings. Thankfully, this wasn't live. Let's take two. Sunny, very mild today. Highs upper 60s, cooler at the shore, but starting off cold here too. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the detailed Garden State forecast. How do you like that, Mike? We went back to the 11th.
We went, look at that. No, it's funny. I looked at the calendar, March 18th, and I immediately called my grandmother. Today's her birthday,
Oh,
89 years young. Yeah.
nonna, buon compleanno,
She's got, well,
nonna.
okay, this is the
Tantanotte.
Slovak side. This is the Slovak
Oh,
side. So whatever
sorry about
happy
that.
birthday would be in Slovak. Do you know that language? I know you speak multiple
Not
languages.
a word.
So we'll have to check in with the Czech to see what the
Yes.
what the Slovak
Nice.
translation is. Yeah, it has war stories from World War II. Growing up on the Polish
Wow.
border, so really, really a legend there. We've got some beautiful weather today, lots of sunshine. Ken, nice way to start your day, but a chill in the air, and that cold weather's around throughout this afternoon until we get to about 2-3 o'clock when it starts to warm up. That warmer air lingers through tomorrow. Lots of sun on the way. And then by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, well, some rain returns just in time for spring's arrival on Thursday. The rain comes in actually Thursday night and lasts into early Friday morning, but clears out in time for the weekend, bringing back a lovely feel. So today with a northwesterly breeze, get this, the beach locations will actually be warmer than tomorrow. Now, tomorrow inland, temperatures will easily spike into the low 70s through Camden, Glassboro, Hamilton. It's going to feel about 10 degrees warmer than today. At the beaches, it's going to feel about 10 degrees cooler than today, simply due to that wind direction coming in off of the water, making it feel so cold. Our average high is 51, so we're doing good in the temperature department. Today we'll get up to 64 as a statewide high. Sunrise at 7:03, sunset 7:07, longer daylight hours. We'll take it going into each evening with those later sunsets. Clear sky around this morning, nothing more than a few high clouds at sunrise, making for a very pretty sunrise. And even throughout this afternoon, we stayed dry. So the rain chances over the next few days, again, Thursday night into early Friday morning, that's our 40 and 20% chance. Remember, this is averaged over the entire 24-hour period. So yes, we'll get some rain Thursday night, and then I think it diminishes by Friday morning. The next chance beyond that is later Sunday night into Monday morning. We could see another few showers around here. As a result of that northwesterly breeze, air quality is good. We're at that good green level throughout the next probably few days, especially with that wind direction blowing from the north and west and blowing from the east. So as long as there's air movement, the air quality remains good. And there's plenty of wind to go around, I think, by the time we get to Thursday. With our next round of weather coming in, here is our cloud cover by overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. So we start off Thursday rather gray. There's the system that gives us our rain. It develops for overnight Thursday into Friday morning. And you see a lot of blue there, but again, I think a lot of that snow is off to the northwestern corner of the state, really in the hills, and primarily upstate New York. I don't think it's too much of an issue for us here in New Jersey. Moving forward into the weekend, warms up each afternoon, plenty of sun by Saturday and Sunday. So we get a lovely mild trend until the rain cools us off Thursday night. Chilly for Friday, only 46 as the high. That's below average. And then we're back into the upper 50s on Saturday and Sunday. More clouds Saturday, we'll call it partly sunny. And then by Sunday, back to the sunshine. Next chance of rain beyond that is Monday. The shore point's much cooler. In fact, with that easterly breeze on Thursday morning, it is just straight up foggy at the coast, and it'll feel cool all throughout the day. I think Thursday and Friday also brings back some cooler weather still at the beaches, more sunshine by the end of the weekend, and there's our rain chance for Monday. So kind of an up and down forecast over the next few days, but still solid 50s at the beaches where it remains chilly, as those temperatures are heavily influenced this time of year by the ocean, especially with that wind off of the water, Ken.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. And good advice there. 35 degrees. So it is a chilly start, as Mike was just saying. And we do have a lot of traffic to tell you about. Let's take a look first off on the Garden State Parkway. This is just south of the Colonia service area. You can see just volume at this early hour. That's the good news, is it's just volume and it's moving. But 15 miles away from that, we do have a problem, and it's a crash and an overturned vehicle on the GSP local lanes northbound south of exit 114, which is Red Hill Road in Middletown Township. All lanes just opened up, but there is a lot of residual delay issue going on through that area. We have a fuel spill on the GWB upper level eastbound in the area of the upper Trans-Manhattan Expressway in Manhattan. So once you get over into the Manhattan side of the GWB, and there's, that's as there's all the lanes going one way, the other way, right there as you come over. That's where you have the issue. So again, that's a fuel spill. You'll see it when you head east, if you head east on the GWB right now. It's causing big delays. And again, that's on the upper level. We have a problem right now with a crash and injuries on I-80 westbound east of exit 62, the GSP in Saddlebrook, one right lane closed, and a disabled tractor trailer on the New Jersey Turnpike, Pennsylvania extension eastbound inside the entry toll plaza in Florence. The right toll lane is blocked. We also have that crash on the New Jersey Turnpike outer roadway southbound, and that is, that is by Edison Township. The right lane and shoulder are blocked, and still have that I-80 sinkhole issue. That's hopefully going to be remedied at least partially in the next few days. But right now, you're still being detoured off at exit 34, eastbound I-80 in Wharton. 7:41 is our time right now. And the 14th annual Meet the Mayor's Breakfast is being held not too long from now, Friday, April 4th, at the beautiful Wilshire Grand Hotel in West Orange. We are joined now by Victor Nichols, the organizer of the highly anticipated Meet the Mayor's 2025 event. Victor, good morning. Welcome. I was looking online at the 2024 event. You guys were packed, right? You had over 300 people there jammed in, and you're already, it was free, but people had to register. Are you all filled up already?
We are. It's funny. I checked it yesterday because I knew I was going to come on, and we are very, very close to getting to full. There's still some space left. And we're also, you kind of try to shoehorn people in when you have an event like this. One of the things that makes this particular year special is that we've got the gubernatorial candidates. We've invited the gubernatorial candidate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and we have already gotten affirmative responses from many of them. So we're expecting to have a great turnout because we're going to have the mayors and we'll have the gubernatorial candidates. One thing I do want to say is that this is going to be an exchange of information for people to be able to talk to their leaders, right? And potential leaders and folks who are moving and shaking in New Jersey, but no debating, none of that. That's not what this event is about. Really, this event is about sharing information, finding out things that are going on. This is actually Meet the Mayors of Essex County. Okay. So we invite the 21 mayors of Essex County, and we want to make sure that people understand that this is a forum for you to really get information, talk, shake hands, find out what's going on, and have an open dialogue. So there'll be a conversation. That's a controlled conversation. And then we open it up for questions. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm just curious, Victor, how do you keep out the potential, hey, I want to talk to Joe DiVincenzo about, my fence. And you want everyone to come and feel free to come, but
you don't,
how do you
prevent
that?
Those kinds of questions are not really, they're expected. Okay. Because this is Meet the Mayors, and it's not, you don't want to really keep them out. You don't want to keep out those kind of questions. What you want to do is be fair about the time in which that you spend on those types of questions, right? Because there's other people in the room who have questions that for them are as important. So what we try to do is we try to monitor that and help keep the program moving. So it's an open dialogue. So there's no, we're not trying to squelch anybody's questions. It's just a matter of us having organizations so other people get an opportunity to ask their questions and talk. That's all.
Otherwise, literally, when would anyone get the opportunity to meet their local leaders? This is just brilliant. And you have to go, why did this never happen before? With the exception of the opportunity of like a city council meeting or something, you never get the opportunity to just walk up and shake the hands, except for when they're running. You never get the opportunity to say, hey, my name is Frank. I live in your district. I'm glad to meet you. Here's my card. This is just brilliant. How many years have you been doing this?
This is going to be 15. This will be the 15th year. This was actually the brainchild of a gentleman by the name of Denny Klein. He's actually the founder of the Essex County event. And his motivation, which made perfect sense, was just what you said. The opportunity for people to come in, meet their mayors, which is why they call it Meet the Mayors, talk to them, and we have a breakfast first, by the way. So it's not just you just walk in, sit down, and listen to people talking. You have a breakfast. You come in. You have something to eat. You have something to drink. You can talk with your mayors. They're there to mingle. You can walk up to them, ask them questions. That type of interaction is so important. Not only does it humanize your mayor and make sure that you have access to your mayors, it also makes an environment for people that they feel that they're being heard and that they can talk to their leaders. So I think it's an extremely important event. And I will tell you this on air, that I do intend to do more of these throughout the state, in different counties, because I think it's a much needed
It's
activity.
brilliant,
And I
Victor.
think,
It's just brilliant.
really that kind of dialogue, fostering that type of dialogue, I think is so important. And we also, one
100%.
mention is that we bring the local chambers are involved. Okay. So they reach out to their constituency so the local chambers will know. And like you said in the top of this segment here, it is absolutely alive. I'm alive. It absolutely is a free event. Okay.
Mhm.
So you can come. I mean, we do have sponsors, and there are certainly some sponsorship opportunities left, but you can come as long as you register. You can come to this event, and there's no charge.
Before I forget, because we have a minute left here. What's the website for them to register on?
Okay.
Victor?
Basically, what you want to do, because of how close we are, you just want to contact me directly. You can contact me at vic@playosagency.com, or you can also call me or text me 862-216-0579, and I'll fast track you. Whether or not you want to register or whether or not you want to be a sponsor, I'll be able to fast track you and make sure that you get in, because we are filling up on both sides, sponsorship and as well as attendance.
Yeah, and also, if you're looking to move, you're looking to buy a house, you're looking to start a business, what an opportunity. You meet the Chamber of Commerce and you say, look, is your neighborhood, I'm thinking about opening a Greek restaurant. Do you think there's an audience for that? Will there be? This is the way to do it. You have to meet and chat. And I know I've dealt with chambers of commerce before. They could be the most essential resources to tell you, we got four really good Greek restaurants, maybe not in our town, but over there they could use one. This is how you do it. And it's all about today, we've gotten away from the socializing and the pressing flesh. And this is so important that you're doing this. So looking ahead, meet them. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You nailed it right there. That's exactly what this is all about. The idea of doing things in person and getting back to that, doing it in person, and you feel like you're part of it. And what you're talking about with the chambers, absolutely. What you just said is so on point. You can ask those questions directly and get the answers from the people who are from those towns, and the chambers who understand what's going on in those environments. It's essential.
I've lived in a number of towns. I lived, in fact, mostly Essex County, as a matter of fact. So I know a lot of the mayors you're talking about. And it was at events, usually because as a news reporter, news anchor, they were unfortunately tragic events that I met many of those people. But on the rare occasion that there was a civic event, that's when I really got to meet them, because when it's a tragic emergency, they don't have time to talk. When it's a social event, that's when you could sit down and really get to know the person. And I just love that you're doing this. I hope you do 100 more of these things. You're probably thinking, oh, you can't stop it. That's a lot. But I mean, it's just awesome that you're doing this. And I hope this is I hope you're going to need a place that has 1,000 capacity next, because this is just too smart.
Continue to grow, and we are. We're going to continue to grow.
Oh, that's awesome. So looking ahead, by the way, the Meet the Mayors, obviously it struck a chord, and it's good to see that it's growing. What are the plans to make it bigger? What can you do? Because I think if it gets too big, then it also misses the point. So how do you find that perfect happy point?
We're always assessing, as we do each year. This is a breakfast event. We are toying with the idea of also trying some evening events as well. And what we can also do is possibly do an event, more than one event in that particular county, if it gets really, really popular. You might do more than one event that year in order for you to accommodate numbers. Because you're right, if something does get too big, especially this kind of a format, you're not going to be able to have those conversations. You're not going to be able to have that personal touch. So you don't want them too big. So we're always tweaking and learning as we go.
Yeah, Essex, Bergen, Hudson counties, you might need 3. Middlesex, Ocean County, maybe 1, right? So it all depends on the populations and stuff. But it all works, and it makes so much sense. This is the 14th annual Meet the Mayor's Breakfast for Essex County. It's Friday, April 4th, the Wilshire Grand Hotel in West Orange. Over 300 will be in attendance. Sounds like the perfect networking opportunity. Organizer Victor Nichols, God bless you for it. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let us know how it all turns out. I want to hear about it afterward, okay?
Ken, love to come back on and do an after.
Love it. You're welcome. I'm telling you right now. Talk to Gerald. We'll set it up. Let's do it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you again. You're awesome. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ken.
You bet. It is 35 degrees now, 7:50. When we come back, how haircuts can make a difference. Also, it's going to be a nice one. Sunny, very mild today. Highs upper 60s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will return with your full Garden State forecast. And we're taking your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. Don't go away. Welcome back to New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 7:51. Taking your calls at 888-658-0234. Sunny, very mild today. Highs upper 60s, but starting off a little chilly, and it's going to be chilly at the shore. Straight to meteorologist Mike Pavetta with the Garden State forecast. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ken. We've got a really pretty day ahead. Lots of sunshine this morning, something to help you kind of get into the early grind. But this afternoon, this will feel lovely. Look at the highs up in Sussex of 63 degrees, downright spring-like, well above average today, at least 10 degrees above average from Newton and Hackettstown. These are highs that you'd expect to see in late April. And yet here we are in the middle of March, enjoying them on this March 18th. See, Ken went back a week before. I'm just going forward a month just to see how nice it is with all of that clearing. Now, with the drought monitor still running dry, especially in portions of southern New Jersey, the extreme drought is now limited to only southern, that's Burlington County and Atlantic County and Cape May. Most of Ocean County is out of the extreme drought, and it's just severe. You can see the legend here on the top right. So better news and improvement given how much rain we've seen, and that rain will continue over the next several days, especially with all of the rainfall from yesterday. Look at how those numbers jumped now. We're above average rainfall, above normal over the last 30 days when you account for yesterday's 3.5 to 4 inches that fell. So some really good news there. Rain hit where it's needed most, and we like that. Still a little bit of a deficit up there towards Sussex County. You're about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch deficit from the last 30 days. Now, with our forecast pointing to maybe slightly cooler than average temperatures entering the picture through the end of the month, entering April, still a big round of above average temperatures out west if you plan to do any traveling. Their golf season there in Arizona. Also drier than average out west, wetter than average likely through the end of the month here in New Jersey, and we could just be slightly above average as we trend toward the end of the month. Our forecast here over the next several days looks dry. Today, tomorrow, even for Thursday morning. The rain you see here doesn't arrive until after the evening rush on Thursday night, so we still get into the upper 60s and maybe low 70s by Thursday afternoon inland, because that easterly breeze will pull in some very chilly air, so it'll be really cool and foggy at the coast. I'll show you that shore forecast coming up next, whereas Friday turns sunnier but drier thanks to the front pushing through with a northwesterly breeze. We're back up around 60 on Saturday afternoon, partly sunny skies, more sunshine, cooler on Sunday, and then our next round of steady rain comes in just over a week there on Monday. So it's the Thursday morning forecast at the shore points that we're back to the straight up fog, and that fog will likely linger through most of the day. A little bit of mist as well as that easterly breeze tends to pull in. Remember, they say, as the saying goes in meteorology, when the winds are from the east, the weather is not fit for man or beast. And yet it's going to be pretty ugly Thursday morning at the coast. Friday brings back sunshine, dry air, and then I think by Saturday and Sunday we stay in the 50s because, again, cooler at the beaches through this weekend, with Monday our next chance for steady rain beyond that. So a cooler forecast at the coast, but Ken, you're going to enjoy those 70s tomorrow inland. It'll feel lovely. Got to go tanning out and sit in front of Satriales like Paulie Walnuts with a little mirror.
Hey, you got to get the tin foil. You got to, sit at Satriali's, get a nice stogie, and you have a good day. Oh my God, am I stereotyping? Every Italian properly is going to say Rosato. Stop it now. All right, Mike Favetta, thank you very much, sir. We'll talk to you just a little bit. Appreciate it. It is 35 degrees. Take a look right now at the Garden State Parkway, Route 1. I'm sorry, at the 133 mile marker south of Colonia service area. It's not too bad right now. Well, of course, now I was going to say now the image is frozen. And of course, now we get traffic. So I guess it is too bad. You can see the left lanes. This is really volume as people are getting into the service area. So maybe something just happened because I see something on the upper right side flashing. And you could see maybe a lane that might have been closed. I think people are trying to get over to the right. So look at that. It happened live on the air. Usually by the time we come on the air, it clears up. And this time it caused an issue. So, all right. So that is, again, mile marker 133 south of the Colonia service area on the Garden State Parkway. We also have some problems getting into Manhattan. Fuel spill right now on the GWB upper level eastbound in the vicinity of the Trans Manhattan Expressway, one right lane blocked. We have a crash with injuries. I-78 local lanes eastbound west of exit 56 in Elizabeth Avenue in Newark. A right lane is closed. Crash on, also I-78 express lanes eastbound east of exit 49, Route 124 Springfield Avenue, Union Township, with a left lane closed. And down in the Philly area, disabled tractor trailer Betsy Ross Bridge eastbound from Pennsylvania side and Philadelphia to the New Jersey side, Toll Plaza, Pennsauken Township, two left lanes closed. That's a mess. And a disabled tractor trailer right now on the Jersey Turnpike, Pennsylvania extension, eastbound inside the entry Toll Plaza, Florence Township, a right toll lane block. Still have that problem on the eastbound side of I-80, exit 34, Route 15 in Wharton, sinkhole repair, everybody being detoured off. It is 7:57. We are shining a spotlight on a local hero making a difference one haircut at a time. Kevin Culleney is the owner of Cuts by Kevin in Kenville, New Jersey. Not just a skilled barber, he's a man with a mission, from volunteering with St. Baldrick's to supporting childhood cancer research to bringing his clippers to the homes of the homebound. Kevin's dedication to his community is truly inspiring. He joins us on the phone right now. Kevin, good morning. And start with your barber shop, Cuts by Kevin in Kenville. What inspired you to open your own place, and how long have you been serving the community there in Kenville?
Good morning, Ken. Thank you. I've been in business since 1984, and I was actually inspired because I didn't do too well in college, and I had a brother-in-law who was a barber and steered me toward that direction.
And you volunteer every year with, I know, this awesome organization. If people haven't heard of it, they should look it up. It's St. Baldrick's. Now, in this case, it's St. Baldrick's at the Roxbury School District, but there is a St. Baldrick's in all over the place, right, where they help out people with cancer. For those who might not know, tell us about St. Baldrick's, what it's all about, and why the cause means so much to you.
Okay, so I was introduced to St. Baldrick's by a friend of mine at the local fire department who did the first event there. I looked it up, the charity, and over 80-something% of the money goes directly towards research and development for childhood cancers. They've made over the years great strides in certain areas, and survival rates have gone up in different diseases. And I currently do at the Lincoln Roosevelt, our local school here, they do a one every year for the last 15 years or so. They've raised probably over $300,000 total. I've lost friends to cancer. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, so I personally take this kind of hard. Anything I could do to help kick cancer in the butt is a good thing.
You're an amazing man, and thankfully you are here to talk about it, for beating cancer twice. Any special moments in the times that you've worked with the St. Baldrick's events that stick out most in your mind?
Absolutely. There was one year where a young girl got her head shaved, and the principal at the school at the time was very adamant about nobody should bully her and be very supportive, which those kids are. But she lost her uncle in a battle to cancer, and she felt that she needed to step up and shave her head in solidarity and raise some money. And it was very emotional. I knew her uncle. He was a customer of mine, and it was a privilege to me to be able to shave that little girl's head, and how brave she was to get up there and do that in front of the entire student body.
And you donate the hair, right? That hair gets donated as well.
If it's long enough, they have different parameters from year to year, 8 inches to 12 inches long. Some girls will come in with ponytails, and you just clip the ponytail off, and that's donated to make wigs for cancer survivors. And but most of the times, it's male people who shave their head right to the skin, and it's an emotional event. They have bagpipers there. It's kind of done in the same time of year as St. Patrick's Day. It's done as an assembly at the school. There's a DJ. It's very energetic. It's just a great experience.
And Kevin, while you've had those kind of events, you've also had homebound clients who couldn't make it into your facility. So how did you get started doing that, going to their homes, and what does it mean providing that very personal service of going to them?
So it started for me, like as my customers got sick and older and couldn't make it out, I would go to their house, and then word is spread. Oh, I get calls all the time, like, oh, I hear you do these at home, and I go every Monday on my day off. Like yesterday, I did 3, and it's rewarding because a haircut, as simple as it is, actually makes people feel a little better and raises their spirits a little bit. And plus, some of these people don't get visitors at home too often, so I'll stay and talk with them a while and spend some time with them. And, it's just rewarding to get back and see a good look on their face when you leave.
I've had people in my life who've been sick over the years, and I say to them, I've said to them, because I was a priest in a former life, and I've said it must be hard to get your friends in because I'm sure your family's here visiting with you, and they stopped me and they told me, no, you know what? People tend to shy away from people who are sick. They don't feel comfortable coming because it brings them down. And I've been told by people who've had cancer that they don't get visits. And so what you're saying means so much because many times they probably don't have a lot of people coming in because people don't want to feel bad. Right? As humans, we tend to want to do things to lift our spirits, and they think going to visit somebody with cancer will bring them down, but just the opposite. You probably leave feeling uplifted by the spirits that so many people struggling with cancer have.
It's true. I think a lot of people maybe don't know what to say in that situation, so that's why they avoid it. And but most times people just want to talk. It doesn't have to be about anything in particular. It doesn't have to be about their ailment or the disease. They just want the company.
Right. Maybe just anything but the cancer. Talk about sports, weather, anything, just to shoot the you know what, right? And
Absolutely.
you balance, yeah, you balance running a business. Running a business alone would just take up above and beyond people's energy. So the fact that you run the business, you volunteer with St. Baldrick's, you make the house calls. What keeps you motivated and gives you the energy to keep going?
I don't know. I just feel that if you're not giving back in life, then like what are you here for, right? So it energizes me to be able to go out and do things. If I don't do something good for somebody every day, I feel like it was a wasted day.
You are a walking saint. Kevin Culleney, the owner of Cuts by Kevin in Kenville, New Jersey. Stop in, say hi, get a haircut, bring your friends there, and tell everybody about him. Cuts by Kevin in Kenville, New Jersey. Kevin Culleney, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. God bless you. Appreciate you being on.
Thank you, Ken, and God bless you also. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. It is 8:03 now, 34 degrees. And when we come back, it is March Madness time. And we hope you win a fortune. But if you win a fortune, make sure you report it on your income taxes. We're going to have our tax expert on to tell you what needs to be reported. Also, we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Lots of sun, mild, a beautiful day today and tomorrow. Highs today in the upper 60s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the full Garden State forecast in just a moment. You're watching ONNJ Mornings, seen daily at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X, and streamed live on Rumble and Twitch at twitch.tv/ONNJ. We're coming right back. And a very good morning, 8:05 now, Tuesday. It still says March 11th in my teleprompter. Somebody, an update a teleprompter as I point to myself. It's March 18th. I don't know why I'm thinking it's the 11th, but maybe we'll go back in time. There was a song about that. Welcome to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking your calls at 888-658-0234. Sunny and very mild today. Highs upper 60s. Cooler at the shore and cooler to start. So if you open your door right now, you'll say, what upper 60s? It's cold, Rosato. You're right. Head to meteorologist Mike Favetta right now with the first check of the Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
It is cold. You're right about that, but it's also warming, and we warmed up about
Yeah.
6 degrees in the last hour. That just goes to show where we'll be by this afternoon with a rapid rise in temperatures thanks to that morning sun, bringing our highs up to 37 right now in Long Branch and 34 in Toms River, 35 down on LBI, but you will see the 50s today on their way to the 60s and higher by the end of the day, even tomorrow. There is a little bit of a gusty breeze right now, gusting to 26 miles per hour in Toms River, 21 miles per hour in Trenton at 8:06 this morning, but it's a solid 20 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, even 22 degrees cooler there in Morristown and Flemington, and down toward Medford, 19 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. It's all due to the clear sky and the dry northwesterly winds that help to clear out all of the clouds and showers from last night, bringing back a lovely feel into this afternoon. There is the wind blowing in that dry northwesterly breeze, and with that dry air comes in a nice warm up today, climbing in through the 50s and near 60 by 1 o'clock. I think we'll cross into the 60s for many locations in the state, like there toward Trenton, even over in Camden, as soon as this evening. With the sun setting now after 7 p.m., we get that extended daylight to keep us nice and mild into this evening, but a little bit of a calmer breeze tomorrow as the winds start to shift for Thursday morning's fog and clouds will allow tomorrow's highs to get up to 71 in Trenton, 72 in Camden, a really warm Wednesday afternoon. It'll feel lovely, even over toward Newark, 61 degrees and 65 in Morristown. Then the clouds come in for Thursday morning. With that, a touch of fog, temperature staying in the 40s. This is 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. It'll be in the mid 40s, just a few degrees above freezing on Thursday afternoon. So a much colder feel throughout the end of the day, but it's much warmer inland if you find yourself away from the coast. That all changes with the front that passes through on Thursday night. You see the rain come in and move out by the Friday morning commute. We're left with likely some clouds for Friday morning, but it's a clearing that dries us out for Friday evening, brings back maybe some extra clouds. We'll call it partly sunny for Saturday and full on sunshine by Sunday, but noticeably cooler by the end of the weekend. Monday could even have our next chance for rain beyond that, going into the first full week of spring as spring's arrival begins 5 a.m. on Thursday morning. Dry tomorrow, warmest day of the week. Thursday, warm inland, because this rain you see here doesn't happen until Thursday night. Cooler at the coast with fog as those easterly breezes push in, and then drier and sunny on Friday afternoon after a little bit of a wet start. We've got more details coming up, and we'll do that birthday shout out for Babichka. Nino's great-grandmother turns 89 today. We've got the picture and all the fun stuff coming up in just a bit.
I have my friend Evie is from Czech, and she got all excited. She was watching, and she got all excited to hear that your grandmother's from Czech. So, and it's not they used to say the Czech Republic. It's just called Czech now, right? They just call
right.
it Czech.
And granted, when they split in '92,
Right.
Grandma was still on the
Czechoslovakia.
Slovak side, closer to Ukraine, about 50 miles from the Polish border. So, a
Gotcha.
little Eastern European geography. Throw it in on a Tuesday morning.
Well, she makes these great Czech dishes. So we'll have you over, you and your wife and the baby, and we'll have Evie make something great Czech for you.
Wow.
You'll love it. So, awesome, sir. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you, sir. It is now 35 degrees at 8:09. Quick traffic check. Let's go over to this. Look at this horrible New Jersey Turnpike camera. This is mile marker 120 northbound 95 express. So this is heading into the GWB. Look at the bumper to bumper traffic, and there's a reason for that. That is because on the upper level, we have, oh gosh, we have two things now. Oh boy. All right. We have a fuel spill on the upper level, and we have a debris spill on the lower level. So that is what's happening. If you go, forget the GWB. If your plan was to take the GWB into Manhattan today, forget about it, because that on the right side of your screen is going into Manhattan. That's what you're looking at. So both levels, upper level fuel, lower level debris spill. Good luck. Tell everybody in Manhattan waiting for you. Going to be late. We also have issues. Lincoln Tunnel, a little earlier, one of the tubes, the middle tube had a disabled vehicle. Apparently that's been cleared, but the damage is done. About a 45-minute delay getting into the city because of the backups, because everybody going away from the GWB was going to the Lincoln Tunnel, and there you have it. We have a crash on I-195 westbound west of exit 11, Route 524, Upper Freehold Township. The right shoulder is closed with about 10 to 15-minute delays through there. We also have an issue now with a crash and injuries on 78 local lanes eastbound west of exit 56, which is Elizabeth Avenue in Newark. And we have problems way down in Philly, disabled tractor trailer on the Betsy Ross Bridge eastbound from the Pennsylvania side straight to the New Jersey side. Pennsauken Township, 2 left lanes are closed. Still have that construction with a sinkhole repair I-80 eastbound through exit 34 in Wharton, and that's going to be going on for a few more weeks, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel now. 8:11 right now. March Madness is in full swing, and with it comes a thrill of college basketball. And for many fans, the excitement of betting on the games. Millions of dollars get wagered each year. And while some lucky winners are going to win cash in big, well, there's still a bit of a catch because Uncle Sam wants a piece of the action, if you know what I'm talking about. We're joined by our friend Marty E. Martin Davidoff, who's a nationally recognized tax expert, attorney, and CPA with Prager Medicine Cranberry, a man who does not talk like I just spoke. Marty, thanks for joining us this morning. Good to have you on.
It's great to be here. And it's not just millions, it's going to be over $3 billion in betting on the NCAA. And that's just the legal betting.
Wow.
And in the
And it's
Super
okay to
Bowl,
bet, right? You just have to give Uncle Sam his cut. You can bet.
it's okay to bet, and you're supposed to give Uncle Sam his cut. All income from gambling is taxable. And it's not, you can't necessarily offset your losses, and that's the problem.
So explain what that's about, because you've talked about this. What if you itemize? If you itemize, can you show how much money you've spent, how much money you've lost, how much money you've won, and do it that way?
Well, let's talk in the field of non-professional gamblers who are not in their own business. So basically, what you've got to do is you've got to report all of your winnings. Let's take a very simple example. Here in New Jersey, you go to Atlantic City every Saturday and you win $100, and every Sunday you go and you lose $100. So for the year, you broke out even. You won $5,200 on Saturdays and you lost $5,200 on Sundays. How do you report that? You report the $5,200 up what is called above the line as part of your gross income. The 5,200 losses that you had, you can only report if you itemize your deductions. Nearly 90% of the people do not itemize their deductions. So you have a quirk in the law. And by the way, this is only for federal purposes, because New Jersey does something different. But for federal purposes, you have to report the $5,200 of income, and you get no benefit from the losses. You're paying tax on $5,200 even though you made zero.
That's crazy. And that's
Now,
so important. So take the time to itemize, right?
well, but you may not have enough deductions to itemize. Most people don't. All right. You have to hit over 14,600, nearly 30,000 if you're filing jointly. And New Jersey has a different rule. New Jersey's rule is you can offset those winnings and losses against each other. You can't take a net loss, but you would report the 5,200 above the line. You don't have to itemize or anything. You can report the losses against it. And there's a whole group of people coming to say, let's advocate a change in the federal law so that you can net the winnings and losings that you have, and up to the point of winning, so you don't have to end up reporting income when you're not making any money.
Gotcha. And what about also along the lines of gambling? We forget that playing the lottery is gambling. If you win 25, 30, $40, especially now that people are gambling with the online apps in New Jersey, you can use the lotto.com and Jackpocket, et cetera.
Right.
They keep records, don't they? Do they report your winnings to the IRS?
If you generally they should be reporting winnings if you made more than 300 to 1 odds, and sports gambling's like that too. So consider this: you bet $100. For me, it's going to be on the St. John's team because I really like them. You bet $100. Maybe they make the Final Four and you win $5,000. So here you have $5,000 on a $100 bet, and you report that as income. But let's say throughout the on different days, you're making different bets, and you win $5,000 on. And by the way, that 5,000 doesn't get reported to the IRS. The IRS only gets reporting for sports gambling if it's more than 300 to 1 odds and over $600. And the history of that is the old trifecta at the track. You know, you'd bet $200, you got 300 to 1 odds, and you'd report anything over 600 if you had 300 to 1 odds. The reality is the law is there, but the reporting has not caught up with the explosion in sports gambling. And in the Super Bowl, 1.4 billion was bet in the Super Bowl. Some people say it was up to 23 billion, but over 100 million people made bets. Now, whether or not you agree with gambling or not, the fact is it's the reality, and they should change the law to offset it so that if you can offset all of them. Today, there's a little bit of offset. So if you go down to Atlantic City, Ken, and you spend the entire day there and you win some and you lose some, you can take all those winnings and losings in one session, all right? And you can offset them. Let's say you're playing slots machines at a casino. So you're at the casino, you play from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., then you go take a dinner break, and you come back to the same casino. They'll consider that all one session up until midnight. But if you go to another casino, so let's say you win at one casino, go lose at another casino, those are two separate sessions. You can't offset them. And the rules are very complicated. And it's really easy. There's a bunch of us that are, going to Congress and saying, look, Democrats, Republicans, all of you, this is a win for the little guy. And this is the other thing. It's the little guy who gets hurt. The big guy who bets hundreds of thousands of dollars, he's going to have hundreds of thousands of dollars of winnings. He's going to have $100,000 of losings. Clearly, he's going to itemize his deductions. But the little guy who doesn't get the benefit of itemized deductions, that's where it hurts. So a reform here that we're hoping to change will really help the small gambler, the occasional gambler, the person who may bet on the NCAA this weekend, and those session laws that I'm talking about. If you made 5 bets one weekend, or one night, those could offset. But if you make win this weekend and next weekend you lose, you can't offset those. You have to itemize them if you have sufficient.
This is why you have to hire an expert. And we had this conversation last time. If you're going to pay 150 for, I don't want to mention one of the national chain names, spend $100 more or whatever and get a CPA, the real guy, like we have on our screen right now. I'm not suggesting, I don't know what you charge, but I know what my guy charges. And it just, for the peace of mind of knowing that you have, this is why you have the title, the CPA. You go through years of schooling, the tax laws front and back. And then you guys have all the specialty programs and stuff, right? So as things get
we have
updated.
specialty tax programs. But on this stuff, like many of your things on your tax returns, on these things, it's a matter of records. Does the taxpayer have the records? And believe me, if they could allow offsets, all of your online gambling would be very simple. You get the report from the online gambling place, and there you've got all your records. But right now you get your report. Now you have to say, okay, when did I have sessions that I can net against each other and when I can't? If they change the law, and maybe each of your listeners here, somebody knows a congressman, put them in touch with us, and we'll give them all the information. But it really is unfortunate. But keep good records, not just for sports gambling, but for your business. That's where it really comes out, Ken.
Well, it's probably good then to, I always put everything on a credit card, not for the offset of paying, but so that I have a record and that I can go back and look at the credit card. I have the date, I have how much I spent, I can make the note, et cetera. And that's why especially anything business related, is always on the credit card. So I have that record. This way, it's not just my word, so I paid Joey $58 in cash. No, you have the credit card. The bank is not going to lie on my behalf. So E. Martin Davidoff, nationally recognized tax expert, attorney, and CPA with Prager Metis in Cranberry, New Jersey. Thank you as always for joining us. We hope to see you again real soon, please. Great advice today.
Yeah, great to be here, and I'll see you next week on another topic.
You bet. Thank you again, Marty. That's right. We're going to have Marty on a regular basis now. I love that. Look at that. Think of how much you have to spend for a CPA, and you're getting free advice right here with Marty. It's 8:19, and we have 35 degrees, sunny, very mild today. Highs into the upper 60s. A little cooler to start and cooler at the shore. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta returns with your full Garden State forecast New Jersey Globe editor David Wildstein will have the latest on New Jersey's political scene with the Inside Edge, and we're taking your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching ONNJ Mornings. Don't go away. And welcome back to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:20. We're taking your calls, 888-658-0234. Sunny, beautiful today. Highs upper 60s. Straight to meteorologist Mike Pavetta with the Garden State forecast. Starting off chilly, though, Mike.
Starting off chilly, but warm. Ken, warm birthday wishes to this one right here. This is Babichka. Yep. This is my grandmother, Antonino's, my son's great-grandmother. Babichka turns 89 today. And we say Babichka because that's grandma in Slovak. Louise Lukács was born back in let me get this right, 36, over in the eastern portion of what is now Slovakia, and saw things during World War II, and then emigrated over here as a young girl with her bigger sister. So we've got some beautiful weather for Babichka's birthday today, right over in Tinton Falls, where she lives. Excited to see her in 2 weeks. She doesn't know we're coming yet. It's a surprise. With Antonino for the first time, so that'll be nice. With a beautiful feel with the sunshine and Point Pleasant, 56 degrees. I called her this morning, and she goes, "Oh my goodness, it's my birthday today." I'm like, "Yeah, good morning." So a pretty start to the day for you and for everyone across New Jersey with that sunshine this afternoon. Now, there will be a little bit of a breeze taking over later today. The winds calm down tomorrow, which is how we make it into the 70s. But for the meantime, that 26 mile per hour wind gust makes it feel a little bit cooler this morning, thanks to those 42-degree temperatures, which will ultimately rise through the course of the day. It gets a little breezy throughout tomorrow evening, and then I think with that wind coming in from the east on Thursday, that's what will really set the stage for a very chilly feel Thursday morning with that fog and mist at the shore, but much warmer inland, as typical when that warmer air heats up through the afternoon on Thursday away from the coast. There's all the rain from last night, shifted well off to our east. We've got beautiful clear sky on the way for today. So lots of sunshine this afternoon, and it clears and it stays clear throughout tomorrow, where we see those highs spike into the low 70s. So a little bit of a cooler start tomorrow. Not as chilly as this morning, but notice those temperatures reaching 72 back over in Camden, even the low 70s in Trenton. As soon as the easterly breeze pushes in, we are in the low 40s for Thursday morning. A very chilly start to the day. We stay in the 40s by the afternoon. Still manage to make it, however, into the low 70s by Thursday afternoon away from the coast. But then the rain comes in from the west, and that sets up the stage for a pretty wet Thursday night. There's the rain that takes over Thursday night into Friday morning, likely clears out just after the morning rush, and then we're left with clouds with clearing by the evening on Friday. Lots of sunshine to start off our day Saturday, taking over with clouds by the afternoon, and then ultimately a clearing again on Sunday, which starts off our second half of our weekend, our first full weekend in spring, on a pleasant note. So more clouds Saturday, clearer on Sunday, a touch cooler, but overall a very spring-like weekend ahead, Ken, with a lovely feel around, and temperatures running anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees above average.
Oh, there you go. By the way, my friend who's from Czech Republic, not Czech, right? Just Czech. She says, tell his grandmother Louise Dobre Rano. So
Oh,
apparently
Dobre
that's happy
Rano, that's
birthday.
it. I knew it was something. Dobre Rano. Dobre Rano is good morning.
Oh, good morning. Oh, I thought it was happy
Good morning.
birthday.
Dobre
Okay, so
Rano
she
is good
says it.
morning. Yeah.
You should tell him Dobre Rano. Oh, you should tell him. I should tell you
Him.
Dobre Rano,
Him.
not to
Dobre
grandma.
Rano. Yes.
All right, so
Yep.
there you go. So
I
Dobre
know the
Rano,
good
my friend.
words, more of the bad words, but some of the good words,
And by the way, for those who don't know, Mr. Mike here also speaks Italian. So that's pretty cool. You lived in Italy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Still
It's
have the
you,
business
Mr.
there.
World Traveler. The baby's
Yeah.
going to be such a world speaker. That's so cool. What, is your wife Italian?
Of Did you have to ask?
Don't hit me. I'm kidding. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. God bless you. And happy birthday to your beautiful grandma. That's so awesome. So sensational. Enjoy the day. Or we'll check back in just a little bit. Now that was sweet and cute. Let's transfer to something not so sweet and cute. Let's take a look, Pam, at this ugly camera. That is not so sweet and cute. You're looking at the traffic going from New Jersey into the GWB. Basically, parked. And here is the reason. We have a fuel spill on the upper level going into Manhattan, and we have a debris spill on the lower level going into Manhattan. Translation, you're screwed. I'm sorry to be so New Jersey. You're screwed. If you're taking the GWB, that you're looking at over an hour at best if they can open it up. So do not take the GWB going into Manhattan this morning, because that, my friends, is what you will encounter. Parked situation going into the city, if you can ever make it in. God bless you. There were earlier problems on the inbound Lincoln Tunnel. There was one of the tubes had a disabled vehicle in it. That disabled vehicle's been moved, but the damage is done. That's now 45 to 60 minutes because people are trying to avoid the GWB and they're headed down there. So between the earlier disabled vehicle and the volume, you have a mess there. I'm guessing people are going to start heading to the Holland Tunnel, and that's not going to be much. That's usually a mess at this hour. So good luck getting into the city today. I would call ahead and say, hey, I'm going to be about an hour late. Let them know about it. It hasn't been that way for a while. This is a really ugly morning getting in. We also have a crash. I-195 westbound west of exit 11 in Upper Freehold Township. Right shoulder is closed, and there's about a 10 to 15 minute delay. We have a crash with injuries, 78 local lanes eastbound west of exit 56 Elizabeth Avenue in Newark. The right lane is still closed. And we have a disabled tractor trailer, New Jersey Turnpike, Pennsylvania extension, eastbound inside the entry toll plaza, Florence Township, with the right toll lanes blocked. That's a mess right now. Crash on the Turnpike, outer roadway southbound north of interchange 9. And that is, let's see, that is still causing delays through that area. We have the right lane blocked through there. I could go on another 15 minutes. It is not a pleasant travel day. So let's move forward right now. Otherwise, the rest of the show is going to be traffic. It is now 8:27, 35 degrees, time for Politics from Trenton. Explain like nobody else can do it. Here is New Jersey Globe editor David Wildstein with your Inside Edge.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Edge. Today is Tuesday, March 18th. The deadline to get on the ballot for the primary election is next Monday, March 24th at 4 p.m. sharp. And what I'll be watching for is if or maybe how the new law that raised the minimum number of petition signatures affects some of the candidates who might be struggling to get on the ballot. For many years, candidates for governor needed 1,000 signatures. Beginning this year, the new number is 2,500. I'll do the math for David Cruz. That's an increase of 150%. And there's no doubt that the major candidates will get on the ballot. Baraka, Bramnick, Chitterelli, Fulop, Gottheimer, Sherrill, Spadius, Spiller, and Sweeney. But there are two more Republicans, Ed Durr and a late entry into the race, former Englewood Cliffs Mayor Mario Kranjak, where the jury's still out. The conventional wisdom is that they'll both get 2,500 signatures. I mean, that it takes a lot of work, and I suppose that's the whole point, is for only serious candidates to make it through to the next round. But we'll see what kind of organizational strength Durr and Kranjak show. I'm less optimistic about a bunch of others who are just seem to take up a bunch of space. And I'll channel my inner David Cruz here and offer some rather brilliant political analysis. If you're not on the ballot, you're unlikely to win. Now, next Monday is another big deadline. If a gubernatorial candidate hasn't qualified for matching funds by March 24th, they won't get on the stage for the two elect-sponsored debates. And this affects Durr and Kranjak and maybe Sean Spiller, whose money has come almost exclusively from the super PAC side, not from his own campaign. Getting frozen out of the debate is just not good. And if Duran Kranjak don't qualify for matching funds and they don't make the debate stage, I think that could be it. Now it's Jersey, so of course there's a loophole. Candidates who show that they've raised and spent or committed to spend $580,000 can essentially buy their way into the debate. That is, if they were to make a personal contribution to their campaign to make up the difference. The deadline is Monday, and the courts have strictly enforced that deadline. That's everything that I have for today. Thank you, everybody, and I'll be back tomorrow.
All right, David Wildstein, like nobody else can tell it. It is 8:31 right now and 35 degrees. Going to get warm today. Gray divorces, people getting divorced after decades together. We're going to speak with a family law attorney about how to navigate through such a difficult experience. Also, phone lines are open, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta says sunny. Very mild today, highs in the upper 60s, though we start out a little chilly, only in the 30s this morning, and it will stay chilly at the shore. The full Garden State forecast in just a moment. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings, seen daily at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And now streamed live on Rumble and Twitch at twitch.tv/OnNewJersey. We're coming right back. Very good morning to you. It is Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, 35 degrees at 8:32. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. Sunny, very mild today. Highs upper 60s, although we start a little chilly right now. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta with the detailed Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Ken, good morning. Yeah, a little bit of a cooler breeze right now blowing around, but that sun and dry air is what's going to help us attain these highs of the mid 60s inland. It'll feel lovely, even warmer in the sun. Remember, air temperatures measured in the shade, and 61 degrees in the shade, not too shabby, especially for the middle of March. 54 in Atlantic City, warmer today at the coast as compared to tomorrow, or especially Thursday, when that easterly breeze pulls in and the water temperature so chilly, so making for a much, much cooler scene there. The average high today is 51 degrees, whereas we reached 64 across the state. So a nice jump in temperatures, 13 degrees above average, thanks to the sunny, dry conditions across New Jersey today. We got a lot of rain over the last few days with all of that soaking rain that came through, but now we're dry for a pair of days before another round of wet weather gets us by Thursday night into Friday, and then again by Monday. In terms of all of that lovely air that's blowing around this morning, it's keeping the air quality index, or the AQI, good. Below 50 is considered good, so great news there. Running around today, running errands, shouldn't have any issues with the air quality this afternoon. Once we get to tomorrow evening, as that breeze starts to pull in some cooler air, you'll notice it a little bit cooler at the coast. It stays mild inland, will likely be in the low 70s by the end of the day tomorrow, away from the shore. And then this is our next front that pushes through, providing some rain, heavy at times, and even some thunderstorms later Thursday night into Friday morning. That clears out for Friday afternoon. A lovely Saturday morning is on tap. And then I think we start to see the conditions cloud up by Saturday afternoon, with some more clouds by early Sunday morning. So we're dry for most of the state and likely hitting the low 70s by away from the coast by inland. This is the afternoon average high across the state, so it factors in the cooler weather closer to the shore and also the warmer weather inland. So there will be places that about 10 degrees warmer than that forecast. By Thursday night, that's when the rain comes in, so don't worry about the rainy icon here for Thursday. That all happens after the evening rush, clearing out by Friday late morning, and then Saturday and Sunday looking decent. A mild start to the weekend, first full weekend in spring. Spring begins 5 a.m. on Thursday morning, and then Sunday cools off just a touch before our rain returns returns for Monday. The short points will be slightly cooler all throughout today and tomorrow, although sunny. That is until Thursday morning when the fog and mist comes in due to that easterly breeze, keeping it much cooler at the coast even until Friday afternoon. Saturday and Sunday, decent. We'll have a little bit of a westerly breeze pushing those highs back up into the upper 50s before rain returns by Monday. So a nice solid stretch with at least a few breaks in there in the showers for some sunshine. Looking good, Ken, on the 7-day. And I think even going into next week, we could see those temperatures trend higher into the 70s, hopefully. With your first full week of spring forecast. We'll show you those details with tomorrow's weather update. Ken, don't forget, you can always get the weather on our website, onnj.com/weather. Has all the forecast there for you at your fingertips.
Beautiful. By the way, our friend Evie, who is from Czech, she wants, this is like a personal conversation we're having now. She wants to know, to ask Grandma the different towns she lived in when she was on the Slovak side and when she lived on the Czech side, because my friend came from the Czech-Polish border. And she said, I probably came from right near where his grandma moved
I
to.
bet you that's it. Yes. We'll have that side conversation. I'll have to figure out how to use all the little, I don't know how to say it, the klotchkas, the little, hats over the O's and the dots and all the accents in those Eastern European languages. So I'll play with the international keyboards and text them to you.
And the language is very, because I speak 7 languages, none of them are Eastern European. The Eastern European language is very complex. It's like Polish, especially the rules in Polish, just from a friend of mine who speaks it. It's like, I could never learn it. And I speak Latin, I speak Greek. Polish
and
is
my
difficult.
Slovak cousins have a hard time speaking Russian because that's even a totally different, experience. So
yes,
it's
there are a few words in common. It's like Latin and Italian or Spanish. There are a few words in common because of the Eastern European origins, but they're different languages entirely. Yep. So, all right, Mike, thank you so much. I know you got to run, so I know you got to get out of here. So take a happy birthday to Grandma. Thanks, buddy. We'll catch you in the morning. It is now 35 degrees, and we do have a lot of traffic to talk about. Let's start off with this camera going into the GWB. So it's the second one we talk about. That's what we have right up there. This mess, this is because we got 2 problems going into the GWB right now. We have a fuel spill still being dealt with on the upper level and a debris spill on the lower level. So there is your approach to the GW bridge. You're talking well over an hour if you want to get in via the GWB. That's what you're going to encounter. I don't recommend it. Your better bet is the Lincoln Tunnel. That's going to be about an hour. You had earlier problems with the Lincoln Tunnel, but that has been taken care of. There was a tractor, not a tractor trailer, but a car that had broken down mid-tunnel in the right lane. That's been cleared. There are delays because of that, but at least that's moving. So GWB is going to be like an hour to an hour and a half. Lincoln Tunnel is about an hour. Let's take a look at this other camera. This is at the eastern spur of the interchange 16E south of the toll plaza. Take a look at this mess as well. It is just an ugly day of travel. And you know what? When we started out this morning at 7, it really wasn't that bad. And I had a gut instinct that told me it's starting off too easy. And I think a lot of this is the bright sunshine. People take advantage of the dry roadways after the rain yesterday. They go fast. The sun blinds them. That's what you get. We have accidents reported all over the place. Also have a problem with a crash and injuries, I-78 local lanes eastbound west of exit 56 Elizabeth Avenue in Newark, and a disabled tractor trailer, New Jersey Turnpike, Pennsylvania extension eastbound inside entry toll plaza, Florence Township. The right toll lane is blocked. Still have the problems of the sinkhole repair, eastbound I-80 exit 34 in Wharton. That'll be going on for another few weeks. So many, many more to talk about. Like I said, we could do a whole show about it. But right now, just give yourselves lots of extra travel time. Over the past decade, we have seen a surprising trend emerge in family law, the rise of so-called gray divorces. Those are couples over 50 choosing to part ways after decades of marriage. I know several. I'm sure you know several. What happens when life falls apart just as you thought, oh, the kids are off, we can now enjoy, we could travel. You think you could celebrate the best years of your life, and then it doesn't happen. Here to help us unpack the phenomenon is Carolina Denhart, a family law attorney and partner at Lindaberry, McCormick, Estabrook, and Cooper. Carolina, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good to have you with us.
Good morning, and what a pleasure to be on with you. And by the way, I've been watching you for years, so what an honor for me to be able to share a screen with you today. Congratulations on the move. This is great.
Thank you. This is fun because you know how far I have to commute to my studio? downstairs. My living room is above where I'm sitting right now. So after reporting all that traffic, you have no idea what a blessing it is to be having the commute that I have. But thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it, Caroline. And is it
Absolutely.
Carolina or Carolina? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your
Carolina,
name right.
Carolina. Thank you, Carolina.
All right. Fantastic.
But it's funny because you were just talking about Eastern European, and the dialects and the accents. So Carolina, I was born in Poland. English is my second language. I do a lot of international divorce. Very much involved in the Ukraine front. Senator Lesniak and my partner Arthur were just on with you last week. I unfortunately had laryngitis. I couldn't come on. But so many great topics for us to talk about in general. But great divorces, right? My God, great divorces. Who would have thought? And by the way, when we say that it's now 50 and over, 50 is the new 40. What are we even talking about? But you're absolutely correct. And, the trend really started to go on the upswing during COVID. And there was a phenomenon that really came into play where people started feeling their mortality and saying to themselves, I don't know how much time I have left. I am certainly not going to live in this relationship where things are not going well. It's obvious we're not friends. We can't communicate. We are now forced to be in the same space and we have nothing to say to each other, or worse, because we saw domestic violence on the rise. So that is the moment in time that as a practitioner, I saw the trend increase.
And, I just literally, when I tell you 15 hours ago, was having a conversation with a friend of mine who was married for 40 years, 40 years. And they're in the middle of the ugliest divorce. I mean, they were just a typical couple. They had their ups and downs. I'm married. I'm together with my husband now, but we couldn't get married, obviously, before, but we're married since 2016, but we're together since 1999. Do we argue all the time? I'm Italian. We argue. Arguing is love for us. It's like my morning days. What are you doing? That's our good morning. Okay, but we're together. We don't have a lot of the stresses that married people with children would have. I get it. But it breaks my heart to see couples together that long saying, I think I want to end it. Do you think people throw around the term divorce way too often?
Absolutely. I think that life is very disposable. You swipe left, you swipe right, this breaks, you throw it away. Back in the day, if something was broken, you take the TV to the guy to get it fixed. You would just throw the TV away. Take your car to get fixed. You take a piece of jewelry to get fixed. We are in a world of consumption and a world of, I could get better. The grass is always greener. But people are also very aware of their mortality at this point. Something I said a few minutes ago. And, there's this focus on health and living your best life and having it be meaningful. And when you start throwing all that around and you're in a relationship for 30, 40 years, let's say, you start to say to yourself, is this really giving me that meaning, without doing maybe the work to bring the meaning back into the relationship? And unfortunately, there's legal issues that come along with this, because as you said, when you were introducing the topic, you have your nest egg, you have your 401k, your IRA, you paid your house off, you had your plan to maybe go to Florida or somewhere else and golf and relax, enjoy the grandkids. Well, now you're taking that nest egg that, with today's world of inflation and how much everything costs, may have been enough. It could have been fine. But now what? Now that nest egg has to pay for 2 homes. So not only are you ending the known and perhaps the comfort, maybe it wasn't as exciting as it was years ago, but now you're going into a world, especially for women, that may be beyond scary because of their age, potential health, who's going to care for me, what can I afford? And it comes with a lot of mental health issues. I'm seeing that when the man wants the divorce and the woman has never worked and is left now to fend for herself, it opens up a lot of isolation and a lot of mental health issues.
It's funny you say that. And I don't know if you know, in a previous life, I was a priest, and many times, I know it's a complex life. I will write the book. I promise. He's gay. He's a priest. He's with a guy 26 years. He's a talk show host. He's an anchor. I believe me. I would be a therapist's fantasy. That's what I would be. But I've dealt with couples who've I think they rush into relationships, and they each has different expectations. And then at the end of many years, you haven't achieved what you think should be the perfection. Nobody, by the way, achieves perfection, right? I think that's part of the problem. Everyone assumes there is no such thing as perfection. And any relationship, straight, gay, old, young, is work. That's part of it.
100%. Yeah.
So
You know,
but
one
now
one
what?
of the
Go
things
ahead.
one of the things that I think has increased is the availability of other relationships, right? Whether it's
Hmm.
emotional, whether it's physical. When Facebook opened and Instagram and all these potential sites and dating sites, and you're literally sitting on your computer at home. And during COVID, this was the only source of entertainment when restaurants were closed, and people are getting from AI or fictitious people, maybe if it's real people, these chat rooms and these sites, what they should be getting and working on with their spouse. So you have some person telling you online that they're going to do this and that, and you should be happy, and you should, and if it starts feeding maybe a void you had, and that then festers, and a lot of emotional affairs were discovered during COVID. People end up believing meeting people online and actually having physical affairs, but it's the accessibility of now stepping out and getting your needs met, where before you had to work on getting those needs met at home.
And when we got married, we'd already been together for 17 years. But when we planned on getting married, because it was made legal for my ilk, I remember our attorney saying, "You need a prenup." And it wasn't about money because we each came with our own, money. So it wasn't about that. He said to me, I said, "But that feels like we don't trust each other." He said, "No." My attorney pointed his finger at me, and he said, "A prenup tells you why you won't get divorced. A
Yeah.
prenup spells it out so that you'll never get divorced." You know what? I was so against prenups before, and we have a prenup, and it's the greatest thing ever because on occasion when we start to argue, we stop because we know what the prenup says, and we don't want that to happen. So it really does stop it from happening.
Well, look, and that's another show that we could do about how people are waiting longer to get married these days, and they do accumulate assets before they say I do. They might have a hefty 401k already, or a premarital piece of real estate, or two, or whatever it may be, or a company they have an interest in or run. So certainly prenups are a big conversation. But the couples we're talking about that have been married for 30, 40 years, and I have two
Right.
couples like that I'm working with right now. There are no prenups. They got married, high school sweethearts or college sweethearts, raised their families, accumulated assets. But think about it this way: when the wife never worked, and we're being sexist for a moment, and she's getting divorced at, let's say, 63 or 64, and potentially alimony could terminate at 67 if the payor retires by the age of 67. So now she's 63, only looking at a few years of alimony. And now what? She's never worked. Does she have to go back to work? Then there's age discrimination. Then, yes, she'll get assets, but how long will they last? There's all these complex issues that go into what we now call gray divorces. And it's something that people really should consider before they pull the plug after so many years of marriage.
You know what we need, and I'm not kidding when I say this. Let's talk to Gerald after. Gerald's our executive producer. We need to do
I love him.
literally
He's fabulous,
an
by the way.
hour. Gerald's the best. We need to do an hour. I'm not kidding. Let's do an
Yeah.
hour about this topic because this is a huge topic. The fact that I just randomly, I'm 57, and I randomly know several couples going through exactly this right now tells me this is not a rare phenomenon. This is now happening a lot. We need a bigger topic, a full hour on this. So Carolina, let's make a plan to do this. Okay, please.
Absolutely. There's a lot of information that we could share. I run a platform called Divorce Dynasty, which is about preparing, protecting, helping people partner to get to the other side. Education. We need to hit this population with education, the pros, the cons. Do everything you can to save your marriage. Ultimately, if you can't be saved, what's the roadmap? Let's not rush into anything. Let's make sure that everyone is cared for, safe, and educated.
And divorce does not have to be ugly and nasty and mean. All right. If you both
Correct.
really need a divorce, just go into it thinking, all right, this is my goal. I'm not going to be 100% happy, but we can do this as civil as possible. That's the key. And I think all too often divorce just becomes this ongoing, I hate him, he hates me, back and forth. And it doesn't have to be that ugly at all. But people make it
Absolutely.
that way.
Listen, divorce is a life-changing event. It's a death of a relationship, and certainly in a long-term marriage, people need to be prepared what that means, how that will impact them, how will it impact them physically, mentally. This should not be taken lightly, and obviously then impacts our society, our communities. If we have people that are going to be, falling off and now need mental health services, or they're becoming displaced as a result of a divorce later in life, what do we do to prevent that? And in the meantime, if it's going to happen, how do we support people going through it?
Yeah, this is great. And this is why you need a professional. You need an attorney. Both sides need their own attorney. And at the same time, listen to the attorneys, but at the same time, also know that you know the individual whom you were married to, and the attorneys are there to give advice. But at the same time, I think all too often people then kind of weaponize and use the attorney against the partner, kind of using it as a hatred thing. And that's not the attorney. You don't even want to get involved like that. You just want to handle the professional part of it. That's that.
Yeah, yeah. But sure, but I recognize through my Divorce Dynasty platform that you need so much more than just a divorce lawyer. You need someone, you may need a coach, you may need a therapist, you certainly need a mover, you may need a new banker, a financial planner. For people getting divorced later in life, you need long-term health care insurance. Can you afford it? Who will take care of you? What if you don't have kids? What if the kids live in another country? There's
Right.
so many things that we need to consider when getting divorced in the years that were supposed to be the best years of your life.
Yeah, and this is all valid. These are things people never think about, especially when they're young and they meet the person they think is going to be their dream forever. They got to think ahead. So maybe we should even do another show about that. Young couples and planning for the 50-year long term. That's a second show we'll do. But I love having you on, Carolina
Thank
Denhart,
you.
family law attorney and partner at Lindaberry, McCormick, Estabrook, and Cooper. Carolina, give us the website once again for people who need to reach you.
So it's divorce-dynasty.com. And they will get all the information they need. They'll be able to reach me. But more importantly, I want to be a resource. I've been a resource. I want to continue to be a resource.
Lots of experience there, and we appreciate you. Carolina and Denhart, thank you so much for being with us. It's good to have you on.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you very soon again. Let's do
Thank
this,
you.
okay?
Have a
And let's
great
do
day.
that
Good luck to
show
you,
on
Ken.
Thursday.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye-bye now. It is 8:51, and meteorologist Mike Vavetta tells us we're going to have sunshine today. It's going to be very mild, highs in the upper 60s, more sun tomorrow, highs into the 70s. Beautiful stretch of weather before a little mixed bag on the weekend of rain one day, nice the other day. But he's saying enjoy today and tomorrow because it's going to be gorgeous. He said starts out a little chilly. Right now it's only 35. So don't think you could just walk out the door with no light jacket. Wear a light jacket. You could shed it later, but you're going to need it this morning. And if you live by the shore, you're going to need that jacket all day long because the breeze off the cold ocean is going to stay there. So meteorologist Mike Pavetta tells us enjoy today and tomorrow. By lunchtime, maybe early afternoon, you'll be able to go outside with a light jacket and enjoy a nice lunch al fresco. We'll also take some phone calls right now. We have time for one more call. 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. I'm just going to tell Pam, our director, let's forego the break if we could. We could just go straight through. Okay? So we'll do that. I do want to talk about traffic, though. Do we still have that the secondary traffic cam, Pam, the one that is by the you can either of the two traffic cams we just showed. I want to talk about the issues we're having going into Manhattan right now. If we could bring up the New Jersey Turnpike going into the GW Bridge, that was the. I'm throwing a curveball at her. So here's the problem. While Pam is looking for the camera, you can bring it up whenever you find it, Pam. The problem is there are problems on both the upper and lower level of the GWB heading into Manhattan right now. There was an earlier oil spill, a fuel spill on the upper level and a debris spill on the lower level. Happened within 15, 20 minutes of each other. Oh, joy. So both levels have issues. It's about an hour and a half delay now getting into Manhattan on the GW Bridge from New Jersey. So all the approaches now, the Route 46 approach, the New Jersey Turnpike approach, all bumper to bumper, stretching several miles. It is a nightmare. That, of course, is making many people go toward the Lincoln Tunnel. But the Lincoln Tunnel had a disabled vehicle in mid-tunnel earlier. And so that was causing delays. Now that disabled vehicle's been moved, but there are already volume delays. And because people are avoiding the GWB, they're all heading in that direction. So the Lincoln has about an hour delay going in. Pam, you can bring it up at any point if you want. So let's see if we have that cam. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's pretty ugly. What's the mile marker there, Pam? Do you have it? All right, so 112.3, this is actually separate. This is going into one of the, that's the eastern spur, I believe, that we're looking at. And that is just emerging volume situation. Because up ahead, straight ahead, you can see those structures in the distance. There is a toll plaza. So I think that's just volume right now by where that is. But anyway, just take my word for it. Going into the GWB, it is a nightmare right now. I could shout out the number. I think it's worth looking at. This is So what you're looking at, right? What you were looking at was 112.3 Eastern Spur Exchange. But here, we'll do this live on the air. Why not? The problem that you're having right now is going to be on, sorry, bear with us, folks. This is going to be, let's take mile marker 121.08 southbound 95, I'm sorry, go northbound. 120.00 northbound 95 express. 120.00 northbound 95 express on the turnpike. And you'll see this. You just really have to see it. Okay, thank you. That's what we're talking about. So that is traffic leading in to the GWV. Now, the fact that the right lanes are moving, that tells me, because they take you to the lower level, so maybe the debris spill on the lower level has been cleared up. But you can see how the upper level, the left lanes go to the upper level, and I bet you there's still a problem with the fuel spill on the upper level. So that's what we have right there. All right. We will let you know as things move on, but that is our nightmare this morning. Folks making it into the city, just know that they're going to be late. Right now, though, at 8:55, we take a look at some of the top highlights from Keene University games. Here's On New Jersey sports host Mike Beck.
On Friday night, men's volleyball defeated Drew University in a 5-set thriller. Star Chris Mitchell played one of his best games, tallying a season-high 24 kills. Mitchell's kill in the final set earned Keene their 10th win on the year. Seniors Anton Updale and Nick Thorne helped lead the way for men's lacrosse in their 14-8 victory over United States Merchant Marine Academy. While Updale and Thorne each accounted for 4 goals, the electric Dylan Johnson provided a huge spark as well, scoring 2 goals in under 10 seconds during the third period. In the fourth, it was Thorne who took over, scoring 3 of his 4 goals in only 5 minutes. The win improved the team's record to 7-1. Men's volleyball was back in action on Saturday night, winning in straight sets against Wilkes University. Junior Aiden Flynn was the star this go-around, leading with 11 kills. It was the 6th game this season that Flynn has had at least 10 kills, as Keene improved their record to 11-8. And baseball was a force to be reckoned with during their statement 24-0 win against Centenary University. Tyler Stone led the way with 4 RBIs while tallying 3 of Keane's 24 hits on the afternoon.
And that is our Mike Beck with our sports highlights. It is currently 35 degrees at 8:57, and meteorologist Mike Favetta tells us, did I say Beck? Black. I used to work with a Beck. Excuse me, Mike Black. Meteorologist Mike Favetta, and our other Mike, says sunny, very mild today, highs in the upper 60s, but it starts out chilly and it'll stay chilly by the shore. Also a beautiful day tomorrow. That is On New Jersey Mornings for your Tuesday, March 18th. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you could stream us at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We stream live at Rumble and Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/On New Jersey. Catch you again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us. We want lots more people to join us. Until then, enjoy the beautiful weather today and tomorrow. Have a wonderful one. Thanks again for watching.